Well, good morning to everybody. Happy Monday morning here in the city of St. Louis County, wherever you are, what city, what country. It's a wonderful day to give the Lord the praise. All right, we'll give you the opportunity to come in. We're going to get started. As always, thank the Lord for another day. I do personally, and certainly want to acknowledge God's faithfulness unto me. That's a fact. We had a phenomenal service yesterday, outpouring of God's Spirit, talking about God's goodness and the fact that God cannot not be good. His nature is good. He's good all the time. And so we had a great service, move of God inspired yesterday in such a profound way. And one thing I said to the people yesterday, as we're preparing to celebrate 30 years of ministry, I told one of my brothers, and I reiterated in the pulpit, that my stats don't lie. Come on, somebody. I got to God be the glory. The numbers don't lie. When you look at your life and look at the journey and look what He has brought you through, man, that's your testimony. Okay, what folks say, your numbers, your stats in the NBA, Michael Jordan is a 6-time world champion. Whether you hate him or like him, love him or whatever, the numbers don't lie. And so we say to God be the glory. All right, I want to share just in brief from the theme of the subject, surrendering to God's timing. Surrendering to God's timing. Man, I feel God already. Surrendering. That is means you're relinquishing your will, your desires, whatever it is. You're surrendering. You're giving. You're allowing yourself, and it's difficult. Let's be clear, to surrender to God's timing. Let Him, in other words, He has a specific clock, a timeline, etc. So let's get into the lesson very quickly. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, there is a time. This is powerful, man. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the sun. To be transparent with you, I found myself at time not activating God's timing in a particular situation. Sometimes you're holding on and you're enduring. You're in a place, a season, and not realizing that the timing of God has transpired, particularly as it relates to His will. Sometimes God lifts the grace off a situation. All right. Sometimes that grace you had in a particular season, you no longer have it. All right. So remember this: God is the author of time. He's the author of time. God is the ultimate authority over time. This is the truth of the matter. We do not control time. You cannot control time. I don't care how long you've lived. There's no formula. There is no equation that you can activate to control time. Time is unstoppable. Here's my point. God is the ultimate authority over time. This is important. All right. 3 points. Number one, God orchestrates the seasons and appointments in our lives. Let me say it again. God orchestrates the seasons and appointments in our lives. He strategically, meticulously, He's setting stuff up. My Lord. He's maneuvering and He's shifting stuff. We don't see it until we've come to the end of a season. Number two, God has a divine plan and purpose for each moment of our lives. Because of our finite state, we cannot grasp the totality of God's plan. I tell folk, He shares His plan on a need-to-know basis. So again, God has a divine plan and purpose for each moment of our lives. Number three, acknowledging God's sovereignty over time helps us relinquish our need for control and align ourselves with His time. It's worth saying again. Acknowledging, here's the key. This encompasses maturity. Acknowledging God's sovereignty over time helps us relinquish our need for control and align ourselves with his timing. So that is the process in this instance here would suggest that over time you've developed the capacity and the patience and the endurance to relinquish the need to control everything. My Lord. Over time, you learn how to just turn it over to God. And here's the key. And when you do that, you align yourselves with God's time, or we align ourselves with God's time. And if you're trying to be intellectual and smart and intelligent and have all the variables in terms of what should equate to God's timing, you won't figure it out. But you learn over time to just let him do it. Let him have it. You learn over time to realize that perhaps, just perhaps, you are too much in control. And I can assure you, if you are too much in control, your life will be out of control. Whew, I felt that thing, man. If you are too much in control, hear me today, your life will be out of control because you have exempt God from the process and his timing. All right, let me close with this thought and get this. Guess what? It's your time. It's your time. That's why you're here today. That's why you're hearing me today. That's why you're hearing God speak through me to you. Why? Because it's your time. All right, y'all be blessed. Have a wonderful day. Let's get the word out, man. Let's get the word out. Let's get the word out. Surrender your time. Surrender. Let God have it. Surrender to God's timing. All right? Be blessed.